Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Jet Gutierrez and
Logan Van Pelt.
this is going to be the varsity, the senior day, Santa Clara Bruins against the El Camino Colts.
Yep. Getting it started here with the coin toss. We're hoping for a win today, of course. Let's go 3-7 overall.
And a win here
Or
could
3-6 overall. Apologies.
and a win here could give Santa Clara a possibility of making a sort of playoffs, right? Because they won't be in the playoffs in some of the bottom spots, correct?
Correct. They won't really have the opportunity to play in the playoffs with the bottom spot.
So if they have an opportunity to win both of the next games, which sounds like a very rough task, but it would put them in the possibility to go for CCS.
It would put them 3-3 in the divisional.
You just have to hope Fremont would, yeah.
You would have to hope, you'd have to hope for Fremont's failure and our success, really.
Yeah. And the team that they're facing, El Camino, is not a great team. They're 0-4 in the league and 0-8 overall. So the chances do look good for us for a win today, but earlier today, El Camino's junior varsity.
Yeah, their junior varsity won. They won by, I believe it was 20-14.
Yeah,
so
getting their first win this season.
getting their first win this season. Let's hope the same can't be said for the El Camino Colts. Everybody lining up.
And then we're going to play the national anthem. And that'll conclude the national anthem here as we get ready to get this game going.
Setting up for kickoff. Start really soon.
Now, mentioning that it was senior day today, how many seniors do we have in attendance here, Logan?
Currently, on our varsity team, we have 14 seniors. All pretty great players this year, like that.
Could you point out some outstanding senior players here?
Some players we'd like to showcase here are Jeremiah Carango, Mitchell Pacheco, and Matthew J. Nguyen.
And these three have been both offensive and, in some cases, defensive weapons here. What kind of game are we expecting from Carango, who's been so outstanding for Santa Clara?
Again, our last home game, I'd like to outline, was our homecoming game where Carango played phenomenally and got 3 touchdowns in that game. So we're hoping for even better this game if we want to get the win here today.
And one thing we'd also like to point out here is not just everything is revolving around Carango. A lot of the excellent play we've seen from guys like Pacheco, Kyrie Brown, Manueli, Conklin.
Of course, always we got to give credit to the quarterback, Matthew Conklin, for being able to get them the ball in the first place.
And we started the game here as the Colts are going to receive. Oh, he's running.
Colts receiving,
That's a good return.
Stopped around 31.
Another player we'd like to point out that I failed to mention is player Matthew J. Nguyen, who has been outstanding for their rushing yards, their main running back for Santa Clara. Are we going to see a lot from him today, or do you think they're going to focus more on their receivers?
I'd hope to see a lot from everybody today, but Matthew J. Nguyen with already 111.7 yards per game, hoping he can get more than that, of course, tonight.
Getting ready at the line of scrimmage.
First play, and going for a
And
QB rush,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a second down.
How important do you think it is for Santa Clara's defense to show up early?
Gabriel Rocha with the carry. Kyrie Brown with the stop. Brings up second down. El Camino.
The Santa Clara defense has to hold El Camino to as few yards as possible if they want to get more offensive time and more offensive touchdowns.
I agree, Logan. And one thing that I'd like to point out for Santa Clara is one of the major reasons they've been struggling this season is because of their shaky defense. How do you think they're going to improve upon that in later seasons?
Ball to 12.
Hopefully with
Stop by
better
13.
playbook, maybe better playmaking, they need to be able to capitalize on weaknesses of offenses.
Alex
And
Lopez with the
like to
stop.
outline the definite weakness of this offense is scoring. El Camino has not scored over 24 points in a game.
And if the coaches are playing their cards right, they're going to look to exploit that weak offense. And speaking of coaches, we'd like to point out the coaches for the Santa Clara football team, Nelson Gifford, as well as the extensive staff for El Camino with Rustin Mayorga as a head coach, Archie Junio for assistant coach, Brian Gonzaga for another assistant coach, Charles Trung with another assistant coach, and Gina Guglielmoni, which is the last assistant coach.
Offsides on the Bruins.
Outline the Bruins penalty for offsides. El Camino's got the third down here. Let's hope the defense can stop. Oh, never mind. They're moving the chains.
Correction. They will give it to him. That is first and 10. El Camino.
Interesting. They're giving him the first down here.
Yeah, and it was going to be a very close call, but ultimately I think the refs made a right call.
We'd like to outline some of our better players here on our defense, including Mitchell Pacheco, Gib Chavez, and Jacob Jensen, all with 6 or more tackles per game.
And that's going to be second down here as
Forks and Alex Lopez.
it looks like Jaden Forks and Alex Lopez take them down quickly.
Alex Lopez already with 2 tackles on the game.
Yeah, he's been showing up here often and early, which is what we're going to need if they want to slow down this offense.
Stopping these rushes, stopping these passes. That's all what it's about. All the defense has to do is hold them.
And speaking of defense, some other major defensive weapons that I'd like to point out here is Jaden Forks, who has been very incredible when it comes to the consistent tackling.
That's a good stop right there. That's a great hit. Number 7.
Kyrie Brown on the stop.
Kyrie Brown, number 7, with the phenomenal stop.
Third and 7. El Camino.
And Kyrie Brown is also shown to be both a defensive and offensive weapon, as we've seen a lot from him in the homecoming game.
Very versatile player here. Cheerleaders getting the crowd pumped up here tonight.
Great coverage by the defense. That pass is incomplete. Fourth down.
And the pass is
El
incomplete.
Camino.
It's going to be fourth down. Do you think they're going to go for it, Logan?
They were going for it a lot in the JV game, so who knows? Seems to be a sort of farther fourth down, though, so I would not blame them if they went for the punt. They have a game plan going currently. Oh, seems like they're going for it. Yep, they're going for it. Oh, and there's an offsides.
False start or offside?
Ooh, that seems to be an offsides on the defense, but we'll wait for the... Oh, false start.
5 yard.
That's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Like, now you have to punch being this far.
Yeah, there's not exactly going to be a lot of options here. You can either try and, if you try and go for it, there's a very, very high risk and low reward situation.
Oh, and the ball was dropped. Still kicked near the 20.
He
He's going to
picks
pick
it
it up
up.
and try and go for it.
Oh.
He gets past the. There's a flag. Is there a flag
He's
on the
going.
play?
He's going.
He's going.
40.
He's at the 40.
And
Oh,
ran
he's
to the
stopped
50.
between the 40 and the 50.
That was an incredible return, Logan. We need plays like that to get this offense really rolling here quick.
Can't be too sure, though. I see a flag near the 20.
And I'd also like to point out that that was Matthew Nguyen. We knew we were going to see something from him early.
Didn't expect to be this early, though. Might have been a holding here by the receiving team.
It looks like they're going to move the line of scrimmage way back. And they're going to have it maybe at around the 17 or 16 yard line.
Yeah, possibly. Oh, they might even be going farther because
Could it have been an offensive?
of course it was an offensive call here. It was some sort of offensive holding, but we don't know how far they'll have to be pushed back.
Holding on the Bruins, 10-yard penalty. First down. Santa Clara.
That was a very bad foul to have here because we needed those yards. We needed to be able to be closer to El Camino territory, but now we're driven way farther towards our end zone. And it's ran, and it stopped quickly.
Yeah, and if that kind of play is going to be called off, there's got to be a certain point where you're just discouraged after that one because there was such a good return there, and ultimately it was called off. What do you think the mentality is coming into those plays afterwards?
There's obviously a lot of disappointment with plays like that where there's an error based off of a hold or based off of like a false start. It's always bad to see flags and called in this football, but you want to be able to capitalize off those no matter what.
It looks like they ran it again, and not too many yards gained in the play, but still a positive play.
Stopped very quickly despite the fact that it was a positive play. Now we'll be here on third down.
Nguyen spins around a few for a positive gain on the play. Third down. Santa Clara.
Of course, hoping for conversion here, hoping for a first down.
It looks like they're going to run it again.
Run it again.
And he
and
gets
it's-
farther.
He gets farther, but still, it's going to be a fourth
It's going to be
down.
fourth down. Do you think they're going to go for it, Logan?
Being this deep in their own territory, I don't think it's a good idea to go for it. This is detrimental to the start of this game. And if you mess up this fourth down conversion, they're going to be right there within the red zone.
Santa Clara. Oh my, they're going for it.
Oh, they're going for it. Looks like they're trying to get him to jump off. They're not calling it yet.
High risk, high reward situation. Let's see what it goes to.
Let's hope this crowd can fuel them with this first down. Of course, enthusiastic crowd, enthusiastic cheerleaders. We're all hoping for a first down here.
Oh, it looks like a flag's thrown on the play. It looks like it could have been a delay of game.
Yeah, that was a delay of game there. They were trying to initiate a flag, trying to get El Camino to draw a flag in order to get themselves the first down. And it's a strategy seen throughout. It's seen in high school football, college football, and in the NFL.
Oh, and he's going to throw a long bomb, and it's not going anywhere.
That's where the punt lands. I guess that seems to be towards the 35 as El Camino take the ball on the Bruins 35.
By the Bruins up to 36. First down. El Camino.
Let's see what this Bruins defense can do to stop them once again. Hopefully, what they want is to make sure they don't get another first down because then they'll be near the red zone.
Handoff.
Gary. Stops
And
on it.
it looks like it stopped quickly
Stopped
by
quickly
22.
by 22.
On with the carry. Stopped by
Jaden Forks.
And as we mentioned earlier, Jaden Forks is a defensive weapon. You got to look out for him. We'd also like to point out here that this is the SCHS, the Roar Journalism. We're with Broadcasting.
Broadcasting Club here at Santa Clara High. For watching broadcasts, of course, you'll see it here at SCHS The Roar. Handoff on second down.
And it stopped quickly. It's going to be third
Easily
down.
stopped for a third down.
Alex Lopez stops that play. Forces a third down. El Camino.
Alex Lopez and Jaden Forks in these first two drives have been carrying this defense.
Yeah, and it's that kind of individual performance that's going to cause others to rise up when it comes into the clutch moments here.
Considering this team's record, I feel like I can see why they have this 0-8 record, because they're lacking in this passing game. They have yet to throw anything that's worth any sort of damage to the Bruins.
Yeah, a very two-dimensional style of play. And it looks
And he's
looking
getting
for him.
surrounded. Oh, is he? He throws it
He's
straight to the ground.
and he threw incomplete.
Great coverage on the play by the Bruins. Forces a fourth down.
So
for
close to
El
the sack
Camino.
there. So close to getting him down.
And as we mentioned, this two-dimensional offense is causing the defense to just exploit them, causing it to already be fourth down. Do you think they're going to go for it? Seems like they plan to go for it.
Seemed like they plan to more often than not. We'll see though.
Very college type play. On their
They're in the 35. Sadly, don't think they could kick a field goal from here, but seems like they're going to go for the fourth. And he's getting close. And it's incomplete again.
This quarterback, man,
This is incomplete.
he's
Ball
a
turns
loose
on
cannon. As
downs.
we're watching these throws, and they're not
First
going
down
anywhere.
For your Santa Clara Bruins.
From my research, it seems that their quarterback, Gabriel Rocha, is 70th in the nation in baseball. So it appears that maybe he is more of a baseball player than a football player.
At least so far, but currently he is not looking great.
Yeah, that's as the Bruins offense takes over. Let's hopefully see some great play from Matthew Conklin, our quarterback.
It's going to be a handoff. Oh, and he's getting carried.
He gets pushed back.
I think the utilization of their quarterback early is going to cause this dimension, this offense to grow another dimension, causing, getting it a little bit easier to get across that middle field.
We see a timeout being called here.
It's going to be second down. Looks like they're going to get into their respective huddles.
4 minutes left in the first.
Today's game is brought to you by the Santa Clara High School Broadcasting Club. To catch all your favorite Santa Clara High School sports teams and water polo, check them out on YouTube at SCHS The Roar.
Let's see what they can do coming out of this huddle.
And as they set the line of scrimmage, we want to know here what's going to cause this play to really get started.
Of course, we need to start up this drive with a first down. That's the most important thing, is getting this first down. Already on second down here. We got to hope for conversion within the next two plays. And the ref's getting out of the way.
It's going to be another.
It's going to be heading off to again. Oh, and
he's
he
running.
runs through. Down the middle, and he gets that first down.
That's number 11.
Number 11, Matthew Pacheco, stopped near the 47. Or Matthew J. Nguyen, apologies. Stopped near the
And again,
47.
we've seen so much from him so often. He's proven to be an elite running back for this team.
Of course, prior mentioned, 111.7 yards per game, and they're keeping on with the run. Just a wrecking ball out there.
It looks like they're going to rely on Nguyen often and early here, as they've been running most of the offense through him. Do you think they're going to utilize the receivers later in the game, or do you think they're going to continue with this kind of a strategy?
Of course, if it isn't broken, you don't need to fix it. Let's see what they can do with this. Conklin's going far. And it's caught! Karango moves it. Pass is complete.
And
Jeremiah
guess who it
Krongo has a
is?
lot to prove here. Of course, it's always Jeremiah Krongo with these catches. We need to keep going, and of course, we want to see more from him here today.
And not to mention the absolute bomb that Conklin threw. That was a great play. It's going to be another handoff to Nguyen.
And off to
And
win,
he's gonna
and
take a
he's gonna
hit,
get.
take another
ooh,
one,
he's getting
And
hit.
they're going to carry him back.
He's getting pushed. That wasn't the gain they were hoping for. I know that for sure.
It's going to be second down here.
Win with the carry, 3-yard gain on the play. Second down, Santa Clara.
Of course, 2nd and 7 here.
They're actually going to move Nguyen out, and they're going to replace it with a couple other players.
Yeah, they got to give him some breathing room for sure. He's been fueling this offense this whole drive.
Another handoff, number 6. He's
6,
running.
and he's running, and he bulls through inside the 5.
And that was Abshir Muhammad, one of the many seniors here in Senior Day.
Seeing both phenomenal senior running backs getting some yards here today.
A lot of seniors in general, both Karango, Nguyen, and Muhammad, have all been fantastic in these past couple of drives.
Can't forget our quarterback, Matthew Conklin, either.
That too, yeah.
It's going to be sad to see these seniors go, but they've been phenomenal players all year.
Looks like I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like they're. Looks like it might be an illegal sub.
Some sort of issue with substitution, I believe, yeah. And rolling back. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
Handoff.
Handoff, number
He's
6.
Going
He's going
wide.
far, and he's going to be taken down.
That's gonna be third down.
Tough third down. And
Muhammad with the carry.
we see Jay Nguyen coming back on the field. Matthew Jay Nguyen.
Santa Clara.
Is it? It looks like it's gonna be second down.
Second down here.
I thought it was.
Interesting here. Second down, and that's going to be a touchdown. Scoring 6 here. Matthew Jay Nguyen with a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Appears to be his 5th on the year.
Yeah, and they're already getting points up here often early. Although that's what we've expected. We're glad to see that they've executed here in the first quarter.
And they're going to go for the extra point.
And it's good.
And it's good. Both very happy to see that, as seeing in the JV game, there weren't very many extra points on that game.
Yeah, they were great at getting touchdowns, but they couldn't get either the extra point conversion or even the punt conversion. It was a little strange to see, but we're glad to get back to normal here at the varsity.
Glad to see our varsity players here tonight, of course, and we also have to consider the sophomores on our JV team who will be, be playing on varsity next year. We even have some sophomores already on varsity.
Some of these sophomores consist of Joseph Manueli, who's been excellent for this team.
Can't forget Kyrie Brown
Kyrie Brown, another excellent player for the team.
and Santiago Lopez. Those are the 3.
There's no one number he is, what do you think?
And they're going to return it.
And there's a flag on the play. Seems to be because I think either because he had the ball out, grabbed the ball out of bounds, or because it was kicked out of bounds.
35 then. Should be.
Waiting for them to move the chains, see where this ball will be spotted. As now El Camino must capitalize.
Yeah, and we've seen here that the first couple of drives that they've had have largely not gone anywhere. It's very two-dimensional, no throwing game, and their running game is a little bit shaky at best.
Down, El Camino.
It's very apparent here that El Camino's play so far has not been stellar, but neither has Santa Clara's. They were fortunate enough to get a touchdown on their second drive, but let's see what El Camino could do on their third. Oh, and he's running. Oh, he's going towards the 50. And he's stopped near the 44, 43.
And I feel like I jinxed it, Logan. They had a very large yardage gain based off of a running good running play.
Let's see what they can do now with a fresh set of downs on first. Excited crowd here tonight for senior night. Of course, a lot of parents here to see their senior boys play their final home game. 22 stopped quickly before hitting the 40.
And speaking of the last home game, this isn't the last game of their season. What game is that, Logan?
Of course, they have still Wilcox to play against, one of their biggest rivals.
It's a little bit questionable to call them rivals since Wilcox always kind of beats them.
Can never be too sure. Sister schools, of course, yeah. Set line up here. See what they can do on second down. Handoff. And he's taken down before Gavino the first.
That's going to be third down.
Taken down on the 36, it appears.
Romagim with the carry. Stopped by the Bruins. Third down. El Camino.
Short third down here. Let's see what they can do converting on third down so far. And even if this is successful, we can assume they're going to go on fourth down again.
And their JV team just ran.
It was first and 10. They didn't even say. They had a penalty first and 15. They're running
I'd like to highlight the differences between the varsity and junior varsity style.
Oh, and that's a very apparent flag.
Yeah.
Jumps 4 feet over the line of scrimmage. That'll be a false start.
That's jumped way too quickly for that false start.
Jumps 5 feet
Apologize
over
for the
line of
interruption,
scrimmage. That'll be
but
a false start on El Camino. Third
It looks
down.
like Santa Clara's varsity and junior varsity play very similarly. Do you think that's going to cause them to be? Do you think that's going to cause them to have some issues later down in the game?
Could definitely lead to issues. But, you know, we can never predict the end of the game. We definitely couldn't predict the end of the game last game we watched. The homecoming game, of course, was such an unpredictable game. We'd like to highlight how our players
he
played
took
in
that
that
one down
homecoming game.
early.
Oh, and he's definitely taken down there.
That's 13. Number 13, not
Alex Lopez. with
Alex
the early
Lopez
stop.
again.
That forces a
I believe
fourth
3 or
down.
4 tackles already on the game.
Yeah, and he's been phenomenal early, and it looks like he's going to stay that way. It looks like him and Jaden Forks have been an incredible defensive duo here, and that's going to end the first quarter.
Great to see the Bruins up first quarter,
They'll do it
but
for the first quarter.
we still have 3 left. So
12. The score El Camino 0, Santa Clara 7.
everyone's got to get hyped here for the second quarter. Let's see what our Bruins can do on defense. As we'll probably see a conversion on fourth, but who knows? This El Camino offense has so far been very unpredictable.
Yeah, and even though the Santa Clara offense was very two-dimensional at the start of the game, they have utilized their wide receivers very clearly with that very large, long bomb that Karango got.
A phenomenal catch by Karango has
Yeah.
been able to get us a lead here for sure.
Brought to you by the Santa Clara High School Marching Band. They'll give you a sneak peek at their Atlantis show at halftime. Stay tuned.
Of course, giving credit to all of our cheerleaders and our marching band for all of their contributions to our games, entertaining our crowd.
Throw, it's good, and he's pushed off.
Oh, he's pushed away. There's a flag on that play.
Flag on the play.
Let's see what the referees call this flag as they see if we
Offensive.
get a first down or we stay on fourth. I'm sorry, turnover on down. It's not fourth. Oh,
10 yards from the spot.
bad call on defense in this case. If they take this flag, then of course, El Camino gets farther in their territory and could score off of this and tie the game up.
Yeah, and if El Camino can utilize the refs' calls, they could very well remain in this game. As we've seen that their offense is very lackluster, and they will need a little bit of help, even if it's from the officials.
Yeah, they're going to need all the help they can get on offense if they want to be able to score here. Of course, I believe we mentioned before, not being able to score over 24 points a game, this offense. So if they want to be able to compete with these Bruins, they got to be able to score more than that for sure. 22 running it, and
Oh, and
it's
he's
wide.
thin,
Oh,
but
and he's
he's
tackled for
ball.
loss on that play.
It's going to be second down.
Escobar with the carry. Stuffed by Jensen. Second down.
Of course, Escobar with the carry there. Tackle for loss by Jacob Jensen, who's got 6 tackles per game here.
Yeah, and he hasn't had too many games here, but he's been doing incredible.
Two games with 12 tackles in total, so
Adding quickly to that stat line.
of course, adding quickly to the stat line. Let's see what he can do in these last 2 games of the season. So here on second down, it's going to be a QB rush. And he's going to get a couple yards, but he's going to be stopped short. And seems to be
Third down.
maybe a third and 5, third and 6.
Santa Clara stops him. Third down. El Camino. How is this field spot? Where did they go? They did so bad. I hear it's left.
Down in between the 20 and the 30. Seems to be 32.
And what do you think the game plan is for Santa Clara's coaching staff? What do you think they're thinking of right now, Logan?
Sorry, repeat that.
What do you think the coaching staff's main objective here is? What do you think their game plan is coming into the second quarter?
Well, the Bruins want to stop this offense, of course. They want to get back on offense and get more points because this El Camino offense has been getting closer into their territory, but are never able to convert on fourth.
Jaco with the
Speaking
stop.
of going
Let's
on
make
fourth,
some
that's going to be
noise,
fourth
folks. It's a
down.
Fourth down. El Camino.
It's fourth down here. We'll see if they go. Oh, timeout called.
Timeout. El Camino.
El Camino's timeout here. We'll see.
And if you're El Camino's coaching staff, you're going to start to panic a little bit. This offense is hitting a wall
Check out
quickly
the
in
Food
offense.
Bistro to the right of the press box. You have all sorts of snacks, assorted drinks, and of course our world famous deep fried Oreo.
And as the refs are deliberating, you can see that Santa Clara is refueling here. It's going to be a strenuous game at the start here. They've been going very quickly.
Yeah, it's been decently fast-paced so far. Like to mention here, El Camino's got a short roster here, only 19 players.
Yeah, and speaking of strenuous, these players are going to be tired. They don't have many substitutes. They're going to have to be playing almost all 4 quarters of this game, offense and defense.
And that can obviously translate well for the Bruins as they can, of course, stop them on defense and on offense. They can stump their defense with more scores and stop their offense from scoring. And they're getting close to QB trips, and he's going to get taken down.
And a flag is thrown on the play.
Or if the flag is on the defense here.
Flag on the play. Another
More
flag
flags on the play. Saw an El Camino player pick up that flag. Maybe that's the second call. It's not the most professional thing to pick up the flag. Let's see what. Offsetting penalties. That was a crucial flag there.
Hey, this radio is in the press box right now. If you could shut up, we're trying to call a game here. Thank you.
Let's see what's going to happen with this call. Referee's calling a face mask here
On the Bruins.
on the Bruins, so bad defensive penalty here. Obviously not what we wanted.
Even though they're offsetting penalties, do you think there's going to be a yardage penalty applied to either one of these teams?
That's a first down, of course.
I think that they picked up the second flag.
What?
But they're moving them.
Very confused here in press box here. There's not really much communication
It looks like
between
they're
the refs. Seems like they're going on first down.
First down, El Camino. Don't ask why. We don't really know.
First down here.
That's why they need a hot mic so we can tell us what it was.
Yeah, please be quiet and enjoy the show. Yeah, that's what I'm
Wonder
saying.
what
We
is
should-
going on
we should actually
here.
just move one of these radios to the refs. I mean, we know what you.
And as the play gets ready to start here, it looks like, yep.
Oh, and that seems to be a fumble.
Incomplete
A messed up handoff.
handoff. Are they getting down?
And that's what you call Butterfingers, folks, as we watched him play hot potato with the football.
That
No, that was
wondering if they recovered that ball. It seems like St. Clair recovered it, but they seem to be calling. That was
incomplete pass on the
interesting
play.
call. They tried
Second
to
down, Colts.
calling that incomplete, despite the fact that it seemed to be a failed handoff, and that would have been a fumble.
It's going to be second down here. Looking for, and they're going
Oh,
to
and
QB
there's
rush again.
great pass rush.
Oh, and he's going to pass
That's
it.
intentional
long.
grounding.
Oh!
That's intentional grounding.
Illegal forward pass.
Or illegal forward pass here, of course.
Flag on the play.
You know the pass is illegal. That was a great pass. We got to give credit where it's due.
It's just illegal.
Illegal forward pass. But it's called
Not if it's I mean if it is also intentional grounding, it is, but it's not. It's called illegal forward pass.
like to highlight that pass was not in the right position. That was, of course, past the chains, being that, of course, illegal pass. That's penalty on that.
And that's going to lead it to be third down here.
It is also a loss of downs.
That was a crucial mistake there.
I think it's only 5 yards. So intentional grounding is 10. So.
Glad that the referees were able to notice that call.
Yeah, that would be heartbreaking if that went through.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to throw a long bomb again.
He's throwing it far again. Oh, and it's almost picked
It's-
off.
Yeah.
That was more in the cornerback's hands than it was in the wide receivers.
Pass is incomplete.
And that's going to lead to a
Santa
fourth
Clara
down.
Forces a fourth down. El Camino.
Let's see what they'll do on this fourth down.
Now, they've been known to go for it these past couple of fourth downs here. Do you think they're going to do that again?
At this point for them, it seems like it's a no-brainer to go for it.
Do you believe that's an issue with the kicker or it's a strategy?
I mean, we've seen their kicker has been attempting kicks back there almost this whole game. So I'm wondering if it's a lack of faith or it's just a matter of confidence.
Yeah, not having that kind of a tool to have a good punter or kicker, that limits your offense extremely.
Exactly. You can't get your field goals. You can't get your extra points if you don't have that kicker.
Red down the red shirt with the khakis went on the field, but they didn't call it.
It looks like it's going to be a false start.
It's been the same 5 flags on the play.
Another flag there. Been a lot of flags here, of course.
Yeah, it looks like El Camino's team is a little bit shaky with the mechanics of the game that they play. Because as you're seeing,
That was a Bruins call, though. That was a
it looked
Bruins
like
flag.
It looked like it was a full start.
That was an offsides call for the Bruins. So both teams have been jumping the gun here.
My mistake.
Almost got him at the end.
A long bomb. It's not going anywhere.
And that pass
they go for a pass or run
incomplete.
that's 2
Ball
points.
turnover.
And if they just go for a field goal, that's 3.
Ball turnover
I'll
on
let you know
downs.
what happens.
First down, Santa Clara.
And that's going to go to Santa Clara with a first down.
It's a crucial stop.
The cheer team, so much for the spirit squad.
We're not saying our spirit squad here. We're wondering, where's our school spirit?
Yeah, and I guess we're going to have to have the school spirit used, I guess, by the fans, but it's a little bit too quiet out here. And they're going to run it through.
They're gonna run it.
And it's
Oh, and
stopped.
it's some yards at least on that play. Seems to be a gain
Gonna be
of
second down.
5 or 6. Second down.
You win with some help from Kieran Warren. Good gainage on the play. Second down, Santa Clara. I'll do some make some noise. It's a third down.
Let's. Oh, second down. That's a pass. Jacob Blue with the completion, and that'll be the first down.
Pass is caught. First down, Santa Clara.
Impressive first down, impressive catch for Jacob Blue. Let's see if they can get more towards El Camino territory here. That's a good rush by Nguyen. Oh, and it's stopped quickly. That was read very quickly. Seems to be a gain of only 1 or 2.
After a gain of 3 on the play.
3 yards, actually.
Your Santa Clara Bruins.
Let's see what the Bruins can do on 2nd and 7. Oh, some sort of flag here.
Flag on the play.
Seems to be an offsides on the offense. Or false start. Apologies. See the coach yelling at number 7.
Started on Santa Clara.
Number 7, of course, Kyrie Brown.
Yeah, and as a sophomore, you're going to be a little bit, just the slightest bit less disciplined than the rest of the team, which sort of makes sense that these kind of
Conklin
mistakes would happen. And it looks like Conklin's going to
fires a
pass
missile
it,
left.
but
Fires,
it's not going anywhere.
Miss. Just completely. Oh, that was just.
Round the
Bad
intended
throw on
receiver.
that
Pass
one.
is incomplete.
Yeah, that's what happens when you
Third
panic at the
down,
quarterback. You're going to
Santa
lose the
Clara.
accuracy and you're going to lose the vision.
That,
It's,
that pressure by El Camino was very important on that play. We'll see what they can do on 3rd down, though. Bruins need to be able to get out of their territory and get into the El Camino's territory and hopefully into the El Camino red zone if they want to be able to score. Oh, and it's going to be a rush on 3rd down. And he's pushing through. That seems to be a first down.
and that was Matthew Dwayne Nguyen, of course, rushing like a maniac, going through the El Camino defense.
He's running through them like they're nothing. He's just getting straight to the first down. Been playing phenomenally already this game with a touchdown.
Look,
More
give me
rushing
another
yards for
handoff.
Nguyen. Feed him the ball and he'll
He
take
stood
you
up
to the
after
end
that
zone.
hit,
Oh,
and he's rocked.
He's hit hard.
Yeah.
That was a difficult hit. That's a difficult hit to take.
Do you guys have Friday night games this year? At all?
Yeah.
They're way more like loud-wise.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That senior night too. I wonder why it's Friday, Saturday.
With me a fake handoff, he's gonna QB
Conklin.
rush, and he's gonna
QB rush, and he gets that first. Oh,
Flag on the play.
seems to be a flag called there, possibly on the defense.
Flag on the play.
Discussion here.
No, never mind. No, it doesn't.
Referees trying to decide what to do with this call. seem to be spotting the ball on the 26.
Conklin with the carry. First down, Santa Clara.
Timeout. Or
Quick throw, Kyrie
Oh.
Brown.
Brown.
He stayed
Kyrie
up.
Brown's getting pushed away, and there seems to be barely any gain.
On the offense.
Oh, offense. Seems to be a flag on the offense.
Holding on the Bruins.
Bruins holding call.
First down.
Yeah, and the Bruins have gotten into foul trouble very quickly here in this game. Do you think that's going to end up causing a large disadvantage to them over time as they accumulate more of these?
These flags are always going to be a disadvantage, and the more you get, the worse it is. It's less than more the merrier here. You want to avoid flags as much as possible, but these holding calls have been very detrimental to the way these Bruins play. Oh, Conklin. Oh,
that's going to be...
Oh, there's
face mask.
there's going to be some sort of call. Is there going to be a flag on that play?
No flag? Is it going to be... Is that, I think that's going to qualify
I
as a
think they're going to
sack.
call that a sack, yeah. Conklin tried to push him away, but it just wasn't successful as he got swarmed.
A sack by the Colts. Second and long, Santa Clara.
Bruins set to be on the
48 yards.
43-yard line. Coach was trying to signal to the players here. And that's a rush.
Handoff again to Nguyen, and he
Nguyen,
goes
and
wide.
he-
Ran into Pacheco.
He ran into his own teammate, but he still pushed that. It's not going to be very successful considering how far they were pushed back after that.
Roughly 10 on the play.
After that sack and that holding, that was
Santa Clara.
the last of what they wanted, for certain.
Yeah, well, at least they have a small chance to at least get past the chains, but it's not going to be enough to recover from that sack.
Definitely not. And the question is what they're going to do now on this crucial third down as
He's
going
looking
for the
a
pass.
bomb, and it's
Oh,
thrown
and it's
way too
dropped.
low.
It's thrown a little too low there.
That pass is incomplete. Fourth down, Santa Clara.
Sad to see a fourth down here.
Yeah, and it
Wondering what
looks-
they're going to do here on the 35-yard line.
I would assume that they were going to try and go for a field goal. They're close. I'd say they're close enough to get into that range.
It depends on the kicker. It's... Oh, they're going for it on fourth down.
Conklin looking for option. Karango.
Oh, that's a completed pass. That's a touchdown.
And again, Karango showing his individual skill.
Phenomenal player with his 8th touchdown on the season.
Touchdown, Santa Clara.
Oh, are they going to pull it back? There seems to be a flag on that play. There might be another holding.
And I'm seeing some of the players shaking their head. I don't think this is going to count.
I think there's going to be a holding once again on this play. A second of this drive. They've really got to stop with these penalties in order to score. And that's just illegal player down. Is that an illegal man downfield?
Down the field, yeah. Beside the lineman.
Seems to be an illegal man downfield. Not even a holding, but still very sad to see this penalty.
Fourth and long for the Bruins.
And I'm not too sure what's happening right now.
Well, it seemed to be the flag, but now they're discussing whether to go for it on this fourth down.
Folks, let's make some noise. It's
Conklin's
a
right
foul.
there, so they must be going for the fourth down. Oh, that's a bad snap. Oh, he evades the pressure.
Recovered. That's going to be a
He
quick
passes it.
pocket pass.
Let's see how far Nguyen can go.
And he's
Nguyen gets the
He's
first
going
down,
away.
He's running.
and he's stopped within the red zone.
Pass is caught by Matthew Nguyen. First down.
Matthew Nguyen
Santa
coming in
Clara.
clutch like always.
Showing he's not only a great rusher, but he's also a great receiver. Showing that he can take these passes and get all of the yards he can.
Yeah, and Conklin's that quick pass that he got off was just perfect. I mean, I didn't even see it, but that was a great play he drew up in his head.
Failed to rush there by Nguyen. Not many yards gained there.
It's gonna be second
Like to
down.
outline how Nguyen is, of course, a phenomenal player. He's very elusive, but he's also able to run through these defenses.
Yeah, and having these qualities in a running back is extremely important, especially with an offense that relies so heavily on him.
Yeah, this offense, of course, apparent from this game how much they rely on him, and we need to see more from Nguyen, at least in the red zone. Oh, Muhammad down to the 1, down to the 2.
And they're knocking on the door of this touchdown. All they need is, I even recommend a rugby type play.
Anything that can get you that 1 yard for the touchdown.
Let's make some noise, folks.
Any sort of way they can push right into that end zone. Open there. Is he gonna get in?
And that's going to be a good touchdown by Conklin.
That's gonna definitely be a touchdown. The refs are calling it now.
Touchdown, Santa Clara.
You told him 6. Taking a good lead here with 2 touchdowns. Two
And
touchdown lead is always great to have.
And they're warming up their kicker. It looks like they're going to get the extra point.
Let's hope they can hit this.
And it's good.
And it's good. 14-0 for the Bruins.
Point after is good. Brings the score. Santa Clara 14. El Camino looking to score.
And a good performance from their kicker getting that extra point.
Of course, this great lead to have. Anytime you can lead by more than 10, you're at a great advantage, because as long as you don't turn over the ball and you can keep scoring, you can keep that lead.
Now, do you think they're going to build on that lead, or they're going to try and protect it the best they can?
As getting closer to halftime here, I'd like to see them at least stop this defense and at least keep the lead at above 10, we'd hope for.
Now, do you think it's a smarter decision, back going what I said earlier, do you think it's smarter for them to build on the lead or protect the lead they have?
I think both is very important. Of course, offense and defense are both very important. I think right now, before half, they need to focus on protecting this lead.
And that's going to be a great kick return. It's picked
He's
up around the 15.
picking up, and he's trying to go far. He's past the 30, and he's tackled before the 40. Seems to be tackled on the 37-yard line.
Moore fires a missile down the middle. Santiago Vallejo with the stop. First down, El Camino.
Santiago with the stop. Santiago Vallejo. Waiting to see what this defense can muster here to prevent any scoring before half.
Yeah, and Santiago Vallejo is one of the many seniors here at Senior Day. Just a little bit of a shout out to him and all the other seniors on this team. And all the seniors in the band and the cheer team.
I'd like to outline 3 minutes left for this El Camino offense to try and get the score. Now, would you say, Jet, that any points are crucial for El Camino currently?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's something to build off.
That's almost intercepted, but that's a terrible injury.
He's down. He doesn't look good.
Number 6, Abshir Muhammad.
He's clutching that leg.
That was a
He's gonna
rough
call for
one
the-
to see.
I'm going to call for the coaches.
That was friendly fire there.
Yeah, he's clutching that.
Seems that Nguyen accidentally hit the leg.
Yeah, and these kind of injuries happen, but you never want to see him, especially not on senior night.
Of course, you never want to see any player get hurt, especially when it's a senior. These guys only have 2 more games of the season. They want to be able to stay as fresh as possible for this next one coming up.
And it looks like he's going to get up.
Seems like
he's going to be okay.
he's gonna be up. He's gonna be taken off the field, but we'll see what this defense can do without him.
And hopefully he's going to be able to come back later in the game, but we're not too sure. But going back to what I said earlier, Logan, it is definitely important for El Camino to get any type of point, just to get that momentum, just to get any type of something to build off of.
They need any way to turn the tables that they can, Jet. Wondering what they can do here on second down, 2nd and 10.
It's going to look like it's going to be a false start.
Looks like a false start here.
False start on the Colts.
False start on the Colts, moving them even farther back.
15, El Camino.
Yeah, and it looks like Santa Clara has actually been doing a pretty solid job at keeping them on their side.
I think they've been doing a solid job at getting their own penalties here. They need to be able to stop these penalties, both teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of penalties going around here. I'm not sure what the deal is, but
Seems to be a self-sabotage here from El Camino with their false starts and their holdings.
yeah, El Camino, you can tell they're just a little bit shaky in general. It doesn't really look like they have a game plan or that motivation to get those extra points.
They need to be a cohesive team here, Jet.
Oh, that's going to be a
That's a
long
far
ball.
pass,
Not going
and that's
anywhere.
overshot. That just wasn't the play for El Camino there.
Third down.
No, El Camino I don't think they really understand what kind of play they need to run here, and also they're struggling to find their strengths here. They're trying to plant their foot, find something they can push off of, but it looks like they're just dead in the water here.
Yeah, the momentum is not on their side. That's for sure. They've just not been in a good place this whole game, and that translates to the fact that they're 0-8.
Yeah, and one thing that I'd like to point out here too is that
Oh, and it was close to a sack. He pushed him.
quick pocket
Oh, and
pass,
that's a
caught,
good
but-
it's a good catch,
Oh,
but
he
that's
caught it
not
high.
going to be a first down. Great tackles on that play. Great tackles, but
Comes up with a stop
And I
there.
apologize for the interruption,
Fourth
but
down, El Camino.
the varsity team here in El Camino doesn't look that much better than the junior varsity team that they had.
yeah, that also comes to the fact that they're kind of understaffed here. They're underplayered here. They only have around 17 players, and that's definitely
17, 19, yeah.
17 to 19 range. That's definitely not going to be enough for their players to be able to be fresh.
Yeah, and if they've been playing at this kind of a, whoa, that's a long. Oh, that's a
Oh,
good kick
that's-
though.
Good kick, and it's going to be taken at the 25, 26.
Yeah.
Let's see what this Bruins offense can do with
26-yard line.
only 2 minutes left
Another
in the
Santa
second quarter.
Clara.
Going
First
back to
down.
what I said earlier, if they have this few amount of players and they have this small amount of small roster throughout the season, no wonder they're struggling to get a win here because they don't have the players, they don't have the capabilities to keep going throughout all 4 quarters of the game.
Not only struggling to get the wins, struggling to get the points here, as they're obviously going to, we see it as possibly going 0 going into halftime. Maybe if they can turn over, but as far as we know, this could be a 14-0, 17-0, 21-0 game.
Yeah, and that's all we can hope for here for Santa Clara, as if they can get a win here, there's a possibility that in some small, minute chance, they could get into CCS.
Coach's pass caught by the.
Seems to be some discussions here, trying to spot the ball.
I forgot to call out the umpire's name. Where'd that little sheet?
To be handoff again to Nguyen.
Nguyen, and he's going to get a couple yards. Seems to
Second
be
down.
stopped in the 33.
Ewan with the
Maybe
carry,
30,
gain of
33.
6 on the play. Second down, Santa Clara.
Should be a 2nd and 4 here.
And we've seen so much from Nguyen here, and Karango, and Conklin. All the 3 major stars have shown out here, and we're looking for a couple other people to show out a little bit too. Who do you think, aside from the obvious culprits, do you think could show out here and do some real damage?
That's good Good enough to move the
Well, we're of
chains.
course
First
hoping
down,
for
Santa
some
Clara.
wide receivers such as Kyrie Brown to show up. Jacob Blue already had a pretty impressive pass earlier for a first down. Let's hope he can keep it going.
Looking for him. He's got Pacheco.
And Pacheco got that, and he was wrestled down.
Pass caught by Pacheco.
Pass caught by Pacheco.
Second down, Santa Clara.
On the
Pacheco
second
is
down.
also another great player, coming in at 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Oh, that was batted down. That could have been an interception there. That would have been his 5th on the year.
Escobar bats the pass down. Third down, Bruins.
Batted down by number 17.
Well, I can't read.
I can't read.
I can, kinda. But I just have the list here.
That was 17.
No, it says Colts on the back.
Oh, does it? I didn't think they were that good.
Let's see what they can do on this third down here. Oh, and it's a quick pass. Oh, and it's
Oh, but he dropped it.
dropped. Terrible to see them go.
Jacob Blue, the
3-0.
intended target. Fourth down, Santa Clara. Go
Let's
for it, Gifford.
see what
Go
this.
for it.
Is they gonna punt this ball? Seems like the special teams on the field. Yep, looks like gonna be a punt.
Go for it. Go for it. They've done this before. First game of the year, they did this same play. Yeah, they have no one.
What are they doing here? They're trying to get the jump, and it's punted pretty far.
Good move.
He's going to be received
He's gonna get
around
it at the 15, and he's gonna be
Nice.
Oh,
stopped
he
around the
is
20.
thrown down.
Kyrie Brown throws him down. First down.
Great slam there by Kyrie Brown.
Yeah, and that kind of aggressiveness and ferocity is what we need from defensive teams.
All right.
Especially Kyrie Brown, who has been shown to be both an offensive and defensive weapon.
Of course, one of the younger players here is he's only a sophomore, but he's already been getting his name called. It's crucial for them to keep going. Let's see what the El Camino Colts offense can do here.
With about
Not much time remaining.
less than a minute.
Less than a minute remaining, but they really need these points.
Oh!
Oh, and it's a quick pass. And
Still
he's
caught, though.
almost grabbed him. Oh, and he's
And he's wrestled down out of bounds.
wrestled out of bounds by Nguyen.
Thrown again, pushed out of bounds.
And
by
the-
Nguyen.
The
Second
Santa Clara
down.
defense has
El
been very close to intercepting these passes, as they've been tipping a lot of them. Do you think we're going to see an interception here today?
I hope so. They've been, of course, stopping this pass and stopping this run. They've stopped them with scoring points in general. Of course, they've been to Bruins territory, but they have not been able to capitalize on that.
An immediate pass to the side, and he's going to run. He's going to get past the. He's going to get a first down.
He's gonna
but
get
he
that
was
first
wrestled
down. He
Jesse
went
Collar
pretty
throws
far.
Over his shoulder. That attempt is good enough to move the chains. First down, El Camino.
First tackle of the game here from Jesse Calderon.
Jesse Calderon has been known to have some very, very solid both offensive and defensive games, as he is both a wide receiver.
And a safety.
Yeah, which is kind of rare to see, don't you think?
Usually you see wide receiver cornerback, but of course you always have to have those safeties on the field.
He's coming in at 5'10" and 155 pounds.
Great size for a wide receiver here in high school football.
Yeah, especially as a junior.
Especially as a junior, yeah, with one more year remaining. Let's see what he can do as he plays for their senior night. Hopefully he'll have a successful senior night next season.
You know the radio is up here, right? I'm not. No. Just it was sitting here the whole time.
Let's see what they're doing here with the first down.
It was sitting in the sky. Theo, please don't tell them. I want to see how long it takes them to figure it out. Okay?
Let's see what they're doing.
I
Oh, and
he's
it's
coming for a
almost
speed.
rushed. Oh, and
Pass
he's gonna.
still getting off.
He gets some yards on that play, but he's gonna be taken out of bounds.
And the Santa Clara defense, although there has been a lot of luck on El Camino's side getting these passes out, but Santa Clara is just right there looking for that sack. Do you think they're going to get it today?
I'd hope so. Of course, this has been a great pass rush so far, but not enough to get the sack. hoping to see something from players that already have a sack this season, such as Jacob Jensen.
Jacob Jensen, we mentioned him earlier, and he hasn't had that much time here, as he's only played 2 games, but he has an amazing amount of tackles.
Been electric in these 2 games. Of course, him, Alex Lopez, and Mitchell Pacheco all with sacks this season. And
somebody's gonna get another
there's
one.
the sack we were mentioning earlier.
That's going to be number 13.
Hamza Jerry.
Thumbs up with Jerry, number 13.
Looks
Phenomenal sack.
Looked like it was a little bit of a team effort there when it came to the sack, but
They're just gonna let it run out.
Are they? They seem to be
they're going to
letting
let
the,
them run the clock down.
No reason to punt that.
they're letting the clock run down.
Go for it. It's 4th.
We'll be sent to
And that's
halftime.
going to be halftime, everybody.
There it is. We're gonna see our
After
cheer
two,
teams and our
score stands El Camino 0. Your
performance of
Santa
Atlantis
Cruz
here by our band.
20.
Can't wait to see what entails for the senior night halftime show.
Whatever you want.
They start the clock yet?
Whatever they signal.
I know, yeah. I was just-
I've been gone for too long, think it's time I bring it back. I've been gone for too long, now it's time I take it back. Yeah, you like it when I move to be like that. Got that bump, won't be no trouble. Got them speakers running more. Give me that back, give me that back.
The award-winning Santa Clara High School cheer team.
I couldn't see it was you. If I knew it was Jackson, I wouldn't have picked it. I saw you hold a black rectangle. Yeah, I. No, I said it could be the phone. I wasn't.
I've been up all night, trying to get that rich. Been working. I've been up all night, trying to get that rich.
Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hi, everybody. We are back, and we are here to start the second half of this game.
Great 14-0 lead here for the Santa Clara Bruins. Let's see if they can dig a deeper hole here for the El Camino Colts.
Yeah, because honestly, Santa Clara has led like this before in other games, and they have lost this lead. So the one thing they need to do right now is to build that lead so it becomes almost physically impossible to lose this lead.
Folks, let's make some noise.
Let's-
It's the start of the third quarter.
Let's see this kick here.
And as El Camino gets ready to return,
Let's hope Santa Clara can score here. First, I gotta get the ball, of course, but ooh, that went pretty far.
it's going to be caught by Karango, and he's
By
going to try and
Karango,
return
He's
it.
gonna try and return it. He's
40.
past the 40, and he gets near the 45.
Pretty solid return, don't you think?
Impressive return to get that close to El Camino's territory and be able to get towards their side of the field. Anytime you can get that far, it's impressive.
First down, Santa Clara.
What do we expect here from this Santa Clara offense starting this third quarter?
Well, one thing that they need to do, at least from the offense, is they need to be able to dig a deeper hole, or they need to either make their drives last a long time. Because the one thing they need right now is to give them less time with the ball and less time on offense. Whether that means by scoring more points or making their drives last longer, that's up to them.
It's fair to say that they need to take longer on these plays, and they're already starting the run, so we could see that happening shortly. And there's
Be a
another rush
handoff.
on second down.
Oh, he ran. Oh, he almost dropped it.
Seems like I almost dropped the ball. That's going to be
Good
third and
recovery,
short.
though.
Seems to be 3rd and 2.
Is recovered by the Bruins. Third and short, Santa Clara. That kid? I saw that kid with a lollipop.
Let's see what they can do with this 3rd and 2, it appears. Oh, are they? They're loading it here. Oh, and that's gonna. Oh, he's pushing through. He seems to have gotten that.
That's going to be a fourth down.
No, that's a first down. He crossed the 45.
He crossed the line?
He crossed the 45 there. That should be a first down.
My mistake. That is going to be a first down. And as they
Let's
get
see
ready
what-
for the line of scrimmage here, what kind of play do you think they're going to run quick?
I'm guessing a run. Oh no, it's a pass. Pass to number 7.
Kyrie Brown
Kyrie Brown
He's
is
gonna
trying
run
to get
laterally.
around.
looking for another angle.
Oh, and
he gets forward.
He hasn't. Yep, he's. Oh, great, able to
An
stay
interesting-
on his feet there.
Yeah, an interesting, interesting individual effort. He moved laterally, and it worked out really well for him.
Yeah, the lateral actually worked. The lateral run, that worked very well for him. That was a lot of effort from him on that play for certain.
How risky do you think a lateral run like that is when it comes to maybe closer possessions?
But when there's
Oh,
so many.
whoa.
Oh, and that's a dot to number 12
42.
or 42. Apologies.
Number 42, Mitchell Pacheco wide open.
Tight end Mitchell Pacheco with a phenomenal catch.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, and
Oh.
Pacheco has been a very
Flag.
well-rounded player throughout defensive and an
Oh, a
offensive, but a
defensive
flag
holding
has
call
been
that
called.
angers this crowd.
Yeah, that'll be all. That's a bad
Bowman,
move.
Chris Puglietto. Their license plates are.
That's a bad move.
Oh, that's
They're driving the
sad to see that holding call.
red Toyota Highlander.
My mistake for the technical difficulty, folks. But looks like Santa Clara's looking to get together a game plan after that botched catch.
It wasn't an issue with the catch, it was an issue with the
Botched
hold on that
play,
offensive
yeah.
line.
False
Oh, it seems to be a
start.
false start call.
Looks like these players are getting really jumpy
Oh.
here, causing a lot of penalties.
Oh, clock error, actually. They're resuming. Seems to be an error with the clock.
If I start early? Yeah. Alright, I can take the lead.
Oh, and
Quick
that's a
pocket pass
quick
to
pass to Karango. Krongo's getting farther down. He gets.
Whoa,
Oh,
and he's
going
running.
far. He's all the way.
It looks
to
like he's
20.
gonna stop around the 20.
Stopped around the
15. My mistake.
That was a phenomenal catch and run from that.
And one thing I like to point out is that there was excellent blocking from his other teammates.
First down.
Gave him a clear lane right into that 15.
Amazing play. That was to be able to catch that quick of a pass and to gain that many yards. It takes a special kind of wide receiver.
Give me another handoff to Nguyen.
Quick rush to
And
win.
he's ran.
And he's running through. Seems to be down at the 6.
Yeah, and it's very obvious here that they've been running their offense through their star players here, really relying on the 2 or 3, maybe even 4 players that have really been dictating the offense.
It's very much a game for Nguyen. Definitely a game for Karango. All the credit to Matthew Conklin. And on the defense, some phenomenal play by both
And that
Jaden
looks like it's
Forks.
going to be a
Oh,
touchdown.
there's a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Taking the lead 20-0.
Like we mentioned earlier, like Logan mentioned earlier, they're going to be digging a deeper hole here. And at this point, you're going to wonder if this coffin really needs to be this many feet deep.
You're going to wonder if El Camino's already 6 feet deep here.
I think it's more like 21 feet here.
Could say that. Oh, and it's going to be...
It's good.
It's going to be good. 21-0. Bruins.
Scores. Santa Clara 21. El Camino.
Now,
looking to score.
not to jinx it, Logan, but we have seen comebacks from this kind of deficit before. Do you think we're going to be seeing that here today?
It's hard to see. It's hard to tell, but honestly, with El Camino's offense so far, I don't see it happening. That'd be a miracle for them here tonight or today.
Now, one thing I'd also like to mention here, how much of the team's success here today is based off of the head coach's plays?
Well, as long as the head coach's plays have been successful, the players have been successful, and we've been scoring, so I'd give a lot of credit to Gifford here.
And as they get ready to return the kick here, what do you think El Camino's outlook on these next couple of plays are going to be?
And they're kicking this off,
Nice kick.
and El Camino's going to try and get it.
And he's fast. He's going.
He's going. Oh, he's in between the 30 and the 40. Seems to be at the 32, 33.
Santiago Vallejo with the stop. First down, El Camino.
Now it's going to be Santiago Vallejo.
Santiago Vallejo, again, with another impressive tackle. He's been playing phenomenally on special teams here.
Yeah, and having an excellent special teams is going to skyrocket your team's performance from a good team to a great team.
Exactly. We need to see the special teams play great, of course, like the offense has been and the defense has been.
And one thing I wanted to ask again, Logan, is that what do you think the outlook here for El Camino is after that score?
It's just get points on the board. That's all they really need here. They have to be able to get points on the board, or else they will be at an even more severe disadvantage than they already are.
Down by number 81, Andrew Castillo. Second down.
Andrew Castillo, impressive tackle here.
We haven't seen too much from him today, but he has been pretty good in other previous games, showing a lot of good tackles and a lot of good defensive plays.
One of the juniors here. Hoping for big things from him next season, too.
Yeah, a lot of these juniors are going to have to take a step up once these seniors finally get out of the way because their offense has really been dictated, and even the defense has been dictated by the seniors,
Of course, our quarterback and our star wide receiver are seniors,
including our star running back.
including our running back. Impressive defense here.
With the stop. Brings up third down. El Camino.
Speaking of our receivers, Mitchell Pacheco here. Great stop.
And going back to Andrew Castillo earlier, he's actually one of the only players that have caused fumbles on our defensive team.
Impressive has two forced fumbles here.
Yeah, and I think this is some of the things we have to look forward to as our team gets better and ages when it goes into next year.
Oh, they're going for this run on third down. He's got to stop him. That
That looks like it's going to be good.
That
Yeah, they made it past the chains, I think.
Yeah, they got past the chains for that first down. That was a close first down, though.
Good enough to move the chains. First down, El Camino.
What do you believe El Camino has to do in order to get this touchdown they so desperately need? Is it through their run game or through their passing game?
Well, one thing that I think they can't really rely on is that running, one of the main benefits of running is its consistency. You can always rely on it to get you at least 1 or 2 yards, but right now they need a lot more than 2. They are going to need more like 20. So I think their passing game is going to be something they need to utilize more if they want to get any points on the board.
Yeah, they have to activate this passing game. It's been pretty lackluster here so far, but
Yeah, their quarterback has been a really good runner, but he hasn't been much of a quarterback.
yeah, struggling to play quarterback play. But we'll see what he can do in the passing game in this second half.
I mean, we've seen him throw a couple of, quick pocket passes here and there, but nothing crazy like we've seen Conklin.
Yeah, Conklin with an impressive stat line, especially compared to El Camino's quarterback, Gabriel Rocha.
Speaking of our quarterback, his completion percentage is above 500, coming in at a .526. Very impressive.
Impressive, exactly. Enough about our quarterback. Let's see what this quarterback here for El Camino can do. Crucial second down here. In the middle of the field, but hoping to get to the Bruins red zone.
It's going to be second down. Looking for any type of offensive spark here. And they're going to run it
rush,
again.
And it's pushed. He might hear them yelling third down.
It looks like they're moving the chains.
But they're moving the chains.
Is over his head. Good enough for an El Camino first down.
Once again, another first down. That's what they need to they need to keep up with these first downs in order to score and in order to sort of cut the deficit.
Yeah, but the thing is about utilizing the running game to get these points is that it's going to take time. They don't have a lot of it. Their clock is not their friend here.
Exactly. Clock cannot be their friend when they only have 2 quarters remaining.
Be a fake handoff, and they're going to... and it's almost...
Oh, and it's...
It looks like it's tipped.
Yeah,
It looks like he caught a little bit of it.
He almost had it, but it was just dropped by number 12.
And that's another thing that we got to mention about these athletes is that they are definitely athletes. You could see his vertical on display there. And
Impressive vertical.
Yeah, I don't think any of us can do that.
He could have vaulted over that player if he really wanted to.
And earlier today, we've seen people vaulting over each other in the JV game.
Yeah, impressive athleticism from both our junior varsity and varsity teams. Second and 10.
They're going to run it
They're going to run with the
again.
quarterback again. It's
And
going to be a
it looks
tackle
like-
for loss.
Looks like Santa Clara starting to finally catch on to the strategy, as it looks like they're going to, like Logan said, tackle for loss.
A very unsuccessful sneak.
When you have this kind of this shallow of an offense, you really can't do much, especially when it comes to situations like this. You don't have anything to fall back to because once they've figured out your one offensive device, it's kind of game over at that point.
I'd like to mention that's Jacob Jensen's second TFL of the game.
Jacob Jensen has been incredible in the couple of games that he's played, already with a total of 12 tackles, not including this game.
Oh, and that's thrown
not-
far. Oh, and that's
Might
not
have been
gonna be
pass
caught.
interference.
Could have been an argument there for pass interference, but they aren't going to. I don't see a flag, so
And the Bruins force a fourth down.
let's see what they'll do on this
And that was
fourth down.
incredible defense here. It looks like Santa Clara's defense has been tightening since the last time we've seen them on our home field, as that was one of their major threats or major weaknesses when it came to playing here, is that their defense was very inconsistent the last time out.
Make some noise. Santa Clara can
They've really patched those leaks in that defense. They've really fixed this defense since the last time we saw them on the field.
Yeah, and the last time we saw them was they actually showed a lot of really promising things, but they just couldn't get it out in the end. But it looks like here it's going to be a little bit of a blowout.
They allowed 20-plus points the last time we saw them here at home, but now they haven't allowed any in this whole first quarter. Oh, and that's another overthrow.
And although the defense has been good, the offense has been worse when it comes to El Camino, as they can't even complete a pass.
Yeah, it's sad to see that quarterback just can't get that in the breadbasket. Can't get that ball in his hands.
Do you think it's a skill issue? Do you think the quarterback doesn't have those abilities, or do you think he does, but he might be sort of I wouldn't say failing under the bright lights because there isn't any, but could he be choking under pressure?
Could just be the pressure of a away game. That was an impressive run. That was an angry run from New Win.
Streaks down the middle, individual effort there. First down, Santa Clara. Yeah.
And Nguyen has been phenomenal here, being a very consistent yard getter for this team.
Oh, and he's gonna keep going. Ooh, it's gonna be stopped about 30.
It's going to be second down.
Of course, they are gonna have to keep this run game going if they want to drain this clock and get to the end of this game quickly.
Yeah, and there's a couple of strategies you could take on this route. But there's a couple of strategies you could take in this route, like we mentioned earlier, is that you could either continue to dig the hole deeper or you could prevent them from getting out. As it looks like they've been doing great in both, having their offense continue to produce and their defense continuing to stop them from producing. And we can see why El Camino has gone 0-8 because they really don't have anything to build off of here. And it looks like it'd be a long bomb. Caught it!
Oh, and that's a phenomenal catch. That right in the corner of the end zone.
That's Jeremiah Carongo again.
Touchdown.
His 9th touchdown of the season. He could hit double digits here. Who knows?
And he's definitely going to be looking for that here. As at this point, they're just toying with them because now it looks to be.
Looks to be 27-0.
Sorry, I was stupid. And at this point, Santa Clara is just essentially. No, I know. It was my mistake. Yeah.
See what.
And it looks like they're going to go for the extra point kick.
Hoping for another successful extra point.
And their kicker has been very consistent this season, not missing much.
Very consistent this game, to be sure. Of course, last game, their kicker was sort of caused them the game as they missed that first extra point and were never able to capitalize on 2-point conversions, and that was what caused them the loss last time we saw them at the homecoming game.
Yeah, but not too much of that blame can be put on the kicker. I mean, they knew the risks of going again for 2-point conversions, and they simply just couldn't do it under the bright lights.
Of course, that was a heartbreaking game to see, but you tell these Bruins want to show the home crowd what they're made of and what they want to do. Been very successful here.
And one thing I'd like to point out here is Santa Clara has been on a 3-game losing streak, and it looks like they're getting ready to snap it here today. How important do you think this is for their morale, Logan?
Of course, this is very great for them. Like, this is such a crucial game to win for these guys. They need this win. They really needed this win, and it would have been so damaging to see them give El Camino their first win of the season.
Yeah, and I can't imagine maybe put a little bit of, just to feel a little bit of pity on El Camino. I can't imagine how heartbreaking it is to lose every single game in the season. Do you think they'll win a game? Or do you think they're going to stay 0-9 or 0-8?
0-10.
0-10
actually,
if they
at the end of the
lose
season.
every game.
But we'll see. We cannot be too sure that they're going to win this game, but seems to be a fumble, but I believe that was recovered by El Camino.
And El Camino, going back onto their difficulty of scoring points, they have only 66 points for them in all of the games they've played this season, and 330 points against
Make
this
that
season.
358 after this game,
358.
unless Bruins could always score again.
And comparing that to Santa Clara,
Santa
give
Clara's always been impressive with the scoring, but of course they've allowed a lot of points in these last few games.
Yes, they for their points for they have 232 points again, and compared to their 327 points against.
Of course, not the greatest, but obviously better than El Camino's, as El Camino hasn't even been able to scratch 100 points this whole season in their 9 games so far.
Second down, El Camino. Oh, he was going to spot it at the 45, but I said 4-yard kid. What's he doing?
See,
That's a pretty accurate right now.
And as they get ready at the line of scrimmage here at second down, two very different outlooks on the game.
we can see their kicker in the background, but he hasn't seen the field pretty much for any extra points or any field goals. They've showed no trust in their special teams.
Yeah, and not having that, like I mentioned earlier, not having the ability to rely on your kicker even on certain situations, even if it's just for those 3 points, it's limiting, especially when you can't really go to a passing game or a kicking game. You really don't have an option other than to just run.
Exactly. They really haven't had much of an option of anything. It's seen by their 0 points this game. Not to mention Mitchell Pacheco's impressive tackle. Like it's third down.
And the last game El
Oh,
Camino
and-
played was against Los Altos, where they lost
Getting the-
48-7.
Broke the tackle. Oh, and then he's still sacked. What's that? Number 30, 81.
Andrew Castillo.
Andrew Castillo with a phenomenal sack.
Forces a fourth down. El Camino.
And that's going to be fourth down for El Camino here. Santa Clara has been really putting that force on the offense here, really making them a brick wall.
Fourth down. Fourth down here for El Camino.
Yeah.
It's just been a difficult game for them. That's really all we can say. It's just been very difficult to see this. Oh, and almost a failed snap. Oh, and he's trying to run it.
And he's going to throw
And this
far,
impressive
but
pass.
it's gonna be
Oh, and stopped. Almost a pick on that play. The Bruins will be in El Camino territory. Could go for 35, could go for 31. Who knows?
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to ask you, Logan, is what positives can you draw from El Camino's performance, if any?
I don't really see any positives you can draw besides the fact that they've been able to get into Bruin territory, but with their short roster, they haven't been able to be really successful. It's better than most teams, only 17 to 19 players can do, but still.
And
Gets
Matthew
that-
Nguyen making that large run, making it a first down at around, looks like the 28-yard line.
Making it look so easy there.
Yeah, and you know you're good when it looks that easy, as he just breezes through them. What? Do you think there's a future in college sports for any of these athletes here for Santa Clara?
I hope so. We've had successful players in the past, like Amos Tulele, who's there's a touchdown.
Santa Clara flag on the play.
Oh, it's flag. Mentioning college football, if I'm a scout seeing a game like this, I'd want to take a look at these players.
And it looks like there's going to be a type of penalty thrown on the play.
Illegal man downfield, I believe.
And although this is disappointing, there's not much you can complain about here for Santa Clara, as there's already kind of a sizable deficit here.
Yeah, at this point, maybe the flags aren't that important, because with the deficit they're at now, does it even matter?
And you know what's actually kind of shocking is that it's only the third period and they're already down by this much. Wondering how much they can grow the lead later in the game.
Well, they're only in the third quarter, of course, as we mentioned. They still have the rest of the third and the fourth to take as many yards and get as many yards as possible.
Conklin with it. Long pass. Caught by Karango, and he
dot to
caught
Karango
it,
for
and
the
he's going to
touchdown.
get that touchdown.
That's his 10th of the season.
And he's going to hit double digits.
Touchdown.
That's third of the game. That's a phenomenal touchdown.
And the last game Santa Clara played at home, Corongo also had another 3 touchdowns, showing another 3 touchdowns here, coming up with what we call a hat trick.
Corongo able to share the ball with Nguyen this game, as Nguyen, last time we saw him, didn't really get any sort of rushing touchdowns, but both of them have played phenomenally in this game.
Yeah, Nguyen has been their very consistent yard getter, getting them closer and closer to that red zone, but Corongo really looks like has been the dagger when it comes to getting those points.
How many nails are in this coffin for El Camino?
I'd say about 35, Logan. What do you think?
35. That's sad to see this sort of deficit for El Camino fans, but love to see this on Santa Clara senior night.
Yeah, and it was disappointing to have lost during homecoming a little while ago, but it's good for Santa Clara to have gotten this now.
How important do you think that homecoming loss was to this team to be able to make it big and win big, hopefully, here tonight?
I mean, when you have that kind of that disappointment and that sadness, when you're having that much of a heartbreaking loss, you're gonna have that rage, that desire, that want to get the next win, and we've seen that here today.
We saw that loss here in the press box, and we know it was a disappointing loss to see. So it's great to see that these players have learned from it and become successful here today.
And although that was the last home game, the last game they played was against Fremont, where they lost 31-24.
Of course, like to mention how close that game was, like how their previous games have been.
And that's going to be caught.
Caught. Oh!
And he's hit hard, but he's still going to go through.
He's going a little farther.
Stopped it around maybe the 35-yard line.
Kieran Warren.
First down, El Camino.
Those Bruins players had to get on the field to celebrate with him.
I mean, when you hit somebody that hard, I feel like everybody's going to get riled up, no matter what the score is.
The players, the fans, and maybe even the band.
We'll see about the band, but I think definitely the players and the fans.
Of course.
Get ready for the line of scrimmage here.
New set of downs here, first down. Let's see what they can do. Playing motion. Oh, and there's
Handoff to
runner by number 4.
And he's
And
stopped
he's
quickly.
tackled for loss. Jumble of players there taking him down.
Nathan Forrester with the carry.
And this is almost sad to watch as we continue here.
Almost sad. Might be an understatement. This crazy to see this much of a point deficit here.
Yeah, and you have to wonder how much you can beat a dead horse, Logan. I mean, like this is really heartbreaking. If I'm a not even heartbreaking at this point, just disheartening.
Definitely disheartening. This just such a deficit, such a loss to have to deal with.
And it
Oh,
looks
he's
like
getting
he
that-
almost got him,
almost-
and that pass
oh,
isn't going anywhere.
That wasn't going anywhere. He had him draped on that play. He was not getting that ball. It's an impressive play there by number 4.
Down, El Camino.
Of course, number 4, Gabe Chavez, who's already played phenomenally this season with a 7.8 tackle per game average.
Extremely solid as a defensive player here as we reach the third down.
One of our shining juniors here on this varsity team. Hope
Yeah.
to see a lot more from him next year as well.
Yeah, as we were mentioning earlier, that these juniors are really going to be extremely pivotal next year, as they're going to be the ones that are going to have to be driving this team to where they need to go.
Now as a focus on one of our dynamic sophomores.
And he's going to do a long bomb, and it is
Oh.
not caught at all.
Like I was mentioning, one of our sophomores, Kyrie Brown,
Fourth down.
played phenomenally in this game, showcased that he can be very impressive in his next year, being his junior year.
Yeah, as a sophomore, you got to learn anything you can when you're this early, when you're playing at this level this early. I mean, especially from guys like Manueli, Kyrie Brown.
Like I mentioned with some sophomores, it seems like they're sort of thrown into the fire of low staffing, but with Kyrie Brown, it's just shown that he's just good enough to be on this varsity team.
Yeah, and it's not to mention that the junior varsity team is already pretty solid. I mean, even though they lost to El Camino earlier, they're still a very solid team.
They won they won in our homecoming game. I'd like to mention that by a lot of points. They scored 50 plus that
Whoa.
game. Oh, and that's hit by the El Camino player.
And that is the
That
first
was-
time I think we've seen
down.
a kick return, at least not from a touchdown. Or,
Not a kickoff, but a punt
yeah.
that hit that player. That was an interesting play, to say the least.
Punt hits his own player. First down. Santa Clara.
Let's see if Santa Clara can hit 40 here.
Button change. Oh my.
Wondering what Santa Clara can do here. At this point, all they need to do is just run the ball. They have a whole quarter where all they got to do is just run the ball.
And another thing that I'd really like to illustrate here for Santa Clara is that they could use this time to practice for their game, as that is going to be one of the most important games in the season.
Pivotal Wilcox game next week. Mentioned the end of the third. Starting into the fourth quarter, we'll put 12 more minutes on the clock.
35.
And as we go into the last quarter, another thing I'd like to point out is that both our seniors and our sophomores have been showing out here a lot, especially players like Brown and players like Karango and Nguyen and Conklin.
Of course. Obviously want to spotlight Jeremiah Karango. 76.5 yards per game usually. Probably more than that in this game, I'd like to assume.
Oh, yeah.
And the impressive 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Jeremiah Karango is a 6'2", 170-pound wide receiver. Not lacking in size or in reach, this guy is going places, don't you think?
I'd like to think so. Phenomenal player here at Santa Clara High, and I hope he progresses farther into college. Whether it be Division I, Division II, or Division III. I think he'd be a phenomenal player on any college football team. Let's see what this offense has entailed.
Be a
and
handoff to Nguyen.
quick handoff to Nguyen. Phenomenal
running.
run, and he's got an easy first down. From first to first.
And we also want to talk about Matthew Dwayne Nguyen, who has been incredible as a running back here. Coming in at 5'5", 140 pounds. He is extremely strong for a
140
running back.
pounds of pure muscle,
Yeah.
it seems, how he's been running through this defense. Let's see, and Conklin's
Long run.
quick pass right to Pacheco. Gonna get in the El Camino red zone.
Pacheco with the catch.
Speaking of Mitchell Pacheco,
In the red zone.
he is a 6', 220-pound tight end.
Of course, in the red zone here, let's see what they're gonna do.
Low snap to Conklin.
Low snap, and he's
Long pass.
oh,
and he
it's
dropped it.
Dropped. See that cornerback trip on his own feet there? That could have been monumental to get that catch.
Pacheco incomplete.
And that's okay here, as this quarter is almost kind of like almost like a training session for them, as they're just trying to see what works and what doesn't, because they're going to need to pull out all the stops if they want to get a chance at Wilcox.
Yeah, of course. They want to be able to showcase their team and showcase that they have the potential to beat this impressive Wilcox team next week. Of course, our last game of the season, very detrimental game.
And that'll be the first time in 39 years we will be playing Wilcox.
If we get the win, 39 years to one.
Or my mistake. It has been 39 years since we have beaten Wilcox, showing how elite of a team they have been. But looking at this team, it looks like we have a chance, especially after this kind of a showcase.
I'm sure to see a competition there, for absolutely sure. Let's see. Still in the red zone, of course, second down. Incomplete pass earlier, but
Handoff
it's
to
okay.
Nguyen,
Quick handoff to Nguyen, and
he's going to leak through.
he's definitely getting through this defense. He is abusing this defense here today.
Yeah, and you got to wonder when are they going to learn. I mean, they have just been sitting here and been letting him get through, whether it be through the running and even they haven't had good man coverage when it comes to the catch. So I don't really know what the defense is doing. I don't.
Might be too late for the defense to learn from their mistakes, and
I
they've
mean,
already
if-
receiving the consequences here with this phenomenal run game and phenomenal passing from Conklin to Karango and to Pacheco.
yeah, and if I'm their coach, I'm really gonna try and illustrate that something really needs to change by next season at least, because this is the rock bottom if you can get as a team. 0-8, losing by this kind of a blowout, it's not
Haven't
looking
scored
good.
yet.
No,
It's sad to see for this El Camino team, but
and it looks like
Here in Santa
Nguyen's gonna
Clara
be
at
walked
home.
off.
moving to win off the field.
Sorry to interrupt
he
you,
deserves a
Logan.
breather, of course, after his phenomenal play today with his 2 touchdowns.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at this point, they might as well just rest their star players. I mean, this. I think you could give the ball to a baby and they could keep this lead.
That might be an overstatement, but honestly, with a 35-0 lead, it's not a bad assumption.
I mean, it looks like it's gonna be 41, possibly 42, right here. If I don't jinx it, of course.
Handout. Oh, number 13. Alex Lopez, carry for the touchdown.
And Alex Lopez, a tight end, is a 6-foot, 220-pound player. That is a lot of muscle coming at you. I wouldn't even want to stop him if I could.
If that defense is going to be a brick wall, he's going to run through it.
And it looks like, just as I predicted, it's going to be 41-0, maybe 42. It looks like it's going to be good, even though it's a little bit low.
And 41-0 is an impressive lead.
42?
42.
42. El Camino looking to score.
And I believe, if I'm correct, this could be the largest amount of points scored in a single game for Santa Clara.
You wouldn't be wrong to assume, but we have to check. 41, 42.
Oh, my mistake. They have scored 47 against Del Mar on September 8th.
Well, I bet they're hoping to get more than that here. They still have enough time to score again, of course, but El Camino will get this ball. A little under 10 minutes remaining.
Currently, this is the third most points they've had in a game, or second most, tied with their performance from August 25th in a loss to Terra Nova.
It's been a phenomenal game for Santa Clara. It's been a very impressive game, and we're hoping to see that translate into their Wilcox game next week. But the question is, what are these people, what are these fans in the stands across from us here, Sport and El Camino, what are they thinking? Oh, that was a very low kick. Oh, and they have to hold on to that ball. Number 17 almost dropping it.
Yeah, and you can tell that they're simply just losing motivation to play. At this point, I would throw in the towel, because it looks like the fans aren't engaged on their side, and the players definitely aren't either. If I'm the coach, I'd throw in the towel.
Surprised I haven't seen a helmet thrown here.
Well, you can it's a little bit visible to see some of these players after plays. They have been showing a little bit of anger, but honestly have been keeping their composure pretty well for this kind of a loss.
See what they can do here on first down on the 34.
It's going to be a false start.
Very obvious offsides call.
Or an offsides, excuse me.
New long jump record with that offsides. Moves the ball forwards 5 yards. First down.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was just a bad offsides, but honestly, they're up way too much to care
Yeah.
at this point, really. It's very different from, of course, their game against Los Altos at homecoming. That was such a close game that whole time. They're only down by a touchdown or only down by a field goal. It was so close to that game that to see this impressive 42-point lead is just shocking to not only us but the fans.
Yeah, and it's good to see this kind of growth from the players. I mean, we knew that El Camino wasn't a great team, but to show that they've capitalized this much on it really gives us confidence going into the Wilcox game next week.
Yeah, that's the confidence we're gonna need. The much more confidence we have, and the better play we can have for that Wilcox game. Oh, and that's a quick tackle. That's
Quick rush by
harsh.
defense. Massive yardage on the play.
The defense are really showing El Camino what they're worth.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to mention, especially about Wilcox, is that Wilcox has been an extremely elite team, and Santa Clara has been. I've asked around for some of these players around school, and they have a lot of thoughts about going up against Wilcox next week. What are your thoughts about it, Logan?
Well, considering Santa Clara will after this be 3-6, it's difficult to say who. Oh, that's an overthrown pass. It's difficult to say how this game will translate to how they'll play with Wilcox, but
Santa Clara forces
this is, of course, giving them a lot of hope. But they always have to remember that Wilcox is a different kind of beast.
Yeah, and Wilcox isn't even.
You can have the rest.
Wilcox is, like we mentioned, different beast, but now we must focus on this El Camino offense. See what they can do on 4th down.
Come on, coast to coast.
Apologies, that was a
Oh.
kick.
Coast to coast. Coast to coast.
And oddly enough, El Camino's kicker or punter
No pushes 10 yards.
have been really solid. I'm surprised they haven't utilized them more.
Well,
Down.
their punters had a lot of time, but actually, when you think of it, they've went for a lot of these 4th downs. I'm surprised they didn't go for that one. We here in the box were expecting them to go for on 4th down, but their punter, from what we've seen, has been maybe the shining light of their team. Sad to say.
Well, their quarterback, although hasn't been much of a quarterback, has been exceptional at the running game.
Yeah, he's gotten the 1st downs, but not when they needed him most. Oh, and he's just running through them. Oh, and he's going far. Oh, impressive ability to break the tackle there.
Ball out of Conklin's hands.
Got the
Breaks
36.
defense. First down.
And this really shows how amazing Nguyen is, being able to push through that defense, carrying them with him.
He's treating this team like they're a bunch of 2nd graders. Really, he's just running through them.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't look motivated to stop him. I mean, you looked at them, and they didn't really have that heart behind them to try and stop him, because they're going to need a lot of it to get him.
Seems like the only thing this El Camino team is motivated about is getting on that bus home.
13. Alex Lopez with the run. Second
And it looks like they're substituting out Kyrie Brown for number 19.
2nd down here.
Cohen's in. 19. Yep, there he goes. They're going to him. They're going to him.
Let's see, they have number 19 is someone we haven't seen here much. Cohen Young.
They're going to hand off to 13.
Hand
He's
off
going
number
to
13.
plow
He's-
through the defense.
He's pushing through.
Alex Lopez.
Number 13, Alex
the defense.
Lopez.
That's good enough.
Played very impressively here, not only as a rusher but as a tight end.
Yeah, and he's been extremely consistent for Santa Clara, and he always been a great option to just get him a couple of yards. And you need somebody on your team to just tell him to put your head down and just get us a couple of yards.
Absolutely.
And they're gonna do
running
it
through
again.
them. Oh,
And he tanked that hit.
he tanks that hit.
He's a unit.
He's running through them like an absolute bulldozer.
And it looked like it took a team of them to take him down.
Couple of hits there.
When it takes half your defense to take down one player, you know you're struggling.
On the way.
Yeah, and it takes a different kind of. Oh, it looks like they're going to be substituting him out for number 15, Ryan Bormeo.
They're putting all the tight ends and fullbacks here in at their running back right now, giving Nguyen all the time to refresh.
Yeah.
Who knows if New England will even see the field in this fourth quarter, rest of this fourth quarter.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that they rest him because I would really hope that they would just rest their star players. They've been exceptional here, and they're going to need all they can get on Wilcox, as it looks like it's going to be third down.
Borromeo with the carry.
With only 3 minutes left, they're really just
Santa Clara.
running it. There's nothing else they really need to do.
Yeah, and at a certain point, you got to wonder when they're just going to let them run the clock.
The crowd is still hyped here.
And this crowd is absolutely ecstatic after this win, as they've been
Run from
experiencing
number
a pretty
48,
rough
and that's a
losing
big
streak.
run.
Apologies for that jumble of
Sorry, number
nonsense.
42, Mitchell Pacheco with that run.
The 11. That's good enough for another Santa Clara first down.
And that first down might just have been the end of the ball game here.
The end of the ball game was probably 2 quarters ago, if I'm being honest, but that's one way to put it.
Oh, he's just
And he's just
throwing
gonna
them.
tank him. He didn't go down yet, actually. He could have gone. He could have kept going.
Play had to have been called dead, but
Throws him in.
throwing him,
Yeah, I don't.
throwing them
I don't think they
away.
were gonna take him down. He withstood that storm for sure.
Pacheco pushed those players around like he's throwing out the trash.
And this level of strength from these players are extremely important, as they're going to need it for Wilcox. I mean, one of Wilcox's main players, nicknamed Moose, is 6'7". They're going to need strength to be able to push that guy around, or at least try.
Conklin's trying to pass this ball,
Good pass, but it's thrown
and
awry.
it's no one inside really with that throw.
Intended target. Third
We'd
down.
also like to point out that this is Jet Gutierrez and
Logan Van Pelt here with your Santa Clara High Broadcasting Club. Of course, for more SCHS The Roar, you want to see all the great games from all the great teams? This is where you want it.
yeah, and we're under the umbrella of SCHS The Roar. Going back to 1 minute left in the quarter.
1 minute left in the game. This is... They're
Looks like number 13 is coming back on.
coming back
And
on.
42 is going back out, which Pacheco.
13, Alex Lopez. Wonder if they're just gonna run this, or if they're gonna go and hurt their ego a little bit more on this third down.
Yeah, and it would be interesting if they get this point and the extra 2-point conversion. They will have the most points scored in their season in a game,
Oh, he's pushing and he's shoving, but he's not able to get that touchdown.
and looks like it's gonna be a 4th down.
Lopez.
That's fourth down.
Fourth down.
It's fourth
Santa Clara.
down. And see Conklin's walking off the field. This has been an impressive game.
And it looks like they're going to end the game
And,
here.
yeah, it's
At
this
this
looks like
point,
it's
it's just a mercy ending. The Santa Clara offense and defense has been absolutely phenomenal here today.
this was a phenomenal senior afternoon here.
That'll do it, folks.
There's the end of the game.
We thank you for tuning in here with this broadcast, and we wish you all to have a good day, a good evening, and we hope to see you later with the Santa Clara and Wilcox game.
Have a great afternoon. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next time with more Santa Clara High school sport coverage.